I'm doing today. I have had a day. Like, it's only 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and oh my day has been insane. I'm back continuing the testing chamber. First I need to rant for a minute about like how crazy my day's been. So it's been storming like crazy this whole morning, and my dog is super nervous with storms, so she has been panicking all morning, has been laying under my desk, and then we had a super loud clap of thunder. Like, I mean, it shook the house huge. I had to go check to make sure a tree didn't fall on our house because it was like such a huge clap of thunder. And of course all the fur babies freaked out at that. I jumped out of my seat at that. Go out to the living room, and I think we have a light bulb about to go off in our huge vaulted ceiling fan. And it's just flickering and stuttering, and it looks like the set of a horror movie with a thunderstorm raging outside. And then my carbon monoxide detector starts going off, screeching. Like, I'm sensitive to high-pitched noises, and this thing is super loud, super high-pitched, and panic. Is there carbon monoxide in the house? So I call city utilities. They say they'll be there within the hour. I'm like, well, great. I can't just leave when I have fur babies in here. So I get everyone out into the sunroom, open up all the windows to have air circulation, and we're just sitting out there. City utilities arrived. It was a false alarm, faulty detector. Everything's fine. But, oh my, this morning. Yeah, I feel like I'm in some kind of adulting horror movie right now. So I'm surprised that I actually managed to start my stream only 20 minutes late. And then, of course, I boot up my stream and I'm like, okay, start the timer, I'm going. Look, no one's in here yet. Oh crap, I forgot to press go live, because that's how my day has been. But hey, I'm here. We're gonna have fun. I'm going to answer super uncomfortable questions because I'm back with the testing chamber. Since I finished Puppy Playtime, I'm able to hop back into this series I've been doing. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over, and this is not gonna calm me down, but hey, it'll be exciting. It'll be entertaining. I'll get to chats. Load. Hang on. Butterflies collected 2. Torn pages found 7. Total saves 9. Sins uncovered 3. What does that mean? Oh, there we go. I do not know what that means, but we're loading into this. Woo, crystal object. Gonna take the objects. Yep, another crystal flower petal. So it's gonna be the she loves me not. There we go. What's this? There appears to be a small opening. What would you like to do? Let's look into the hole. As you attempt to look into the hole, you hear the squeaking of a small critter hiding in the darkness. It doesn't appear to want to come out, and your hand is much too large to fit into the hole. Oh! What was that? A loud crashing noise can be heard, along with what sounds like the cries of an unknown creature somewhere in the room. Hey! Everyone okay? Excuse me, butterfly. Gonna check over here. What time is it now? It's not even letting me click on the clock now. There we go. Because I had a pattern, but then it stopped. Okay, it's 12:34. Okay, I heard a creature cry. Hello, anyone need help? What is going on? A pool of blood has formed on the floor where you stand. The mirror on the wall seems to have been shattered by some unknown entity. Lovely. That is lovely. Looks like there's another book over here for me to answer more questions. Yep, let's do this. I want to know if there's a way that I can, like, lure out whatever's in the hole, like if it's a creature in trouble. Okay, writing in blood. Have you ever feared what may lurk in the dark as you're trying to sleep at night? Oh, yes, especially if I watched horror movies lately. Do you find that you get bored easily when you're on your own? Yes, I'm always bored. Do you often find ways to keep yourself entertained? I put on YouTube and just watch. I have trouble finding ways to keep myself entertained. Like I said, I'm always bored. So no. Would you say that you're someone who enjoys their own company? Like, I sometimes need time on my own, but I'm an extrovert, so I like other people's company. But I sometimes enjoy just being by myself, so yes. Do you typically get along well with others? Yes, I'm kind of a people pleaser, so. Would you consider yourself to be stubborn? Very much so. Would you consider yourself to be argumentative? No. I'm contrary, not argumentative. Like, I do find joy in being just randomly contrary, but not to start an argument. I don't like arguments. Are you usually right when it comes to disagreements? Yes. Would you consider yourself to be egotistical at times? No. Have you ever had an inflated opinion of yourself? No, I have a pretty low opinion of myself, so. Have you ever had a low opinion of yourself? Yes. Do you typically have a low opinion of others? No. Does meeting new people make you anxious? Yes, extremely. Have you ever fantasized about living in a world all by yourself? No, that sounds terrible. Would you consider yourself to be the center of your own universe? I mean, yeah, I guess, like, I know that I'm not the center of the universe, but in my life, I make decisions for my own well-being. Hi, Steven! How are you doing? So, yes, I'm the center of my universe. Okay, so I get another torn page. Awesome. What do I need to do with this? A stone statue of a veiled woman stands tall before you. She holds a shard of glass in her hands. What would you like to do? I'll lay a token because I have another wisdom token. Yes. I hear a voice echo in my mind. Understanding requires much more depth than knowledge. Perhaps many know you, but how many understand you? Not many. You have paid tribute and received a blessing of wisdom. Yay! Your decision has been noted. Your mark has been left. Sound of a door unlocking can be heard in the distance. Okay, so there's 2 doors, but I feel like there's more to do in this room. Like, can I do anything else with this? This hole in the wall? Nope, nothing? Okay. I can't do anything else with the mirror. I was alternating doors, but I can't remember what I was on. I just have a gut instinct to go through this door. So I'm going to go this way. Yes. I have no idea how long this goes on for. Ooh, the music room. That sounds nice and pleasant. Hopefully there won't be as much blood. What's this way? Ooh, another crystal. Sweet.
Music man! Music man! Oh! Music man! 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 I called it! Go! Let's go! Let's go! 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 Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Go! Oh yeah! Go! 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 Music man!
Very nice. Thank you, Steven. We always need more music, man. Gonna take the objects. And then she loves me not, dude. Just gonna pop up. Oh, you said music room. My bad. Hey, music man can hang out in the music room. There are bones. A pile of bones, and you separate the meat from the bones. Various insects and critters scurry between the skeletal remains of some poor unfortunate soul. Poor unfortunate soul. Among the bones, an old, worn, tattered piece of parchment rests crumpled and rolled. What would you like to do? I will take that. A treasure map? What? Okay, so I have a couple doors there. Hey, butterfly. It seems to be flying just fine. I feel guilty every time I take one. So we have an old piano or organ, caked in thick cobwebs. Spiders skitter quickly across the keys. I will play it. Oh, place your hands on the dusty spider-infested keys and begin to play a few notes. Gonna play the Music Man song. Music Man, Music Man. Yeah. As you continue to play notes, you hear in the distant sound a violin playing along with you, coming from somewhere in the darkness. That's creepy. Okay, now we're just sitting here, playing music. Can I do... Okay, I can move now. Yay! Clay vase, can I break it? Bottom shrouded in darkness. I mean, my first instinct was to smash it. I don't really want to reach in. Let's smash it. You give the vase a mighty kick with all your power and strength. Glimmering between the broken pieces of the vase is a small coin. Woo, another wisdom token! And what time is it in this room? A musical note appears to be carved to the bottom. That's cool. 3:45. Okay. So, like, we've lost all rhyme and reason to those. And there was a book over here. So I need to answer some more questions. Do you ever take dangerous or unnecessary risks even when the reward probably isn't worth the consequences? Like, in some ways, I'm really risk adverse, but I often forget that actions have consequences. So I'll do things without thinking of suffering consequences. Like, I'll be like, yeah, this is probably a bad idea, but, like, I forget life is a video game and I can't just press undo. So I do the stupid things anyway, but I don't really take many dangerous but it says ever. So, yes, I have. Do you ever do things for the thrill or the adrenaline rush that the activity gives you? I mean, I ride roller coasters because it's fun, so I guess so. If you knew that your death would be the fault of your significant other and the only way to avoid your death was to break contact with them forever, would you do it? No. Love you, Steven. If you could know the death dates of everyone you cared about, would you want to know? No, I don't know that I could handle that. I get enough anxiety as it is. I mean, I guess I would have certainty with that, but still, I don't think I'd like knowing that. Would you consider yourself to be a jealous person? Like, this is a yes and no kind of thing. In some ways I am, but I'm not nearly as jealous as I used to be. So, I'm gonna say no. Like, I used to be a lot more jealous, but I've worked on that, and I'm not really anymore. Would you consider yourself to be insecure at times? Like, all the time, yes. Would you say that you do well under pressure? That's the only way I get work done, so I'm gonna say yes. Have you ever considered leaving Earth forever? Like, on a spaceship? Like, leaving Earth, like, it doesn't say leaving life forever. Love you too. Aw, thank you. But leaving Earth, like, have I ever considered going to live in space? No, I have not. Do you ever pray? every day. If you could travel back to a previous period in time, would you? Yeah, I think that'd be fun to do. If you could fast forward your life without having to currently live it, would you? No, I think that would be really dumb. Do you believe in true evil? Yes. It's better to kill than be killed. Do you agree or disagree with this statement? I think that depends a lot on the circumstances. Like, if you're in a fight to the death, then yeah, you probably don't want to be killed. But like, if you're in a dangerous situation and in order to get out of this danger you have to sacrifice someone else's life, then no, I don't think that's okay. But if it's just a fight to the death and you have to defend yourself by basically killing the other person or else you will be killed, then yes, I do agree with that. I'll say yes. Is there someone in your life that you currently fear? Like, what do you mean fear? Like, I fear disappointing my parents. I fear, I have a lot of, like, weight of expectations from my family. So I fear repercussions from that, but I'm not, like, afraid of them. Like, I'm not like, oh no, they're so scary. I still like spending time with them. I'm just sometimes on edge because I feel like I have to be this certain kind of person. So I wouldn't say I fear them. So no. To your knowledge, has anyone ever been afraid of you? I've been told that I have a very scary glare, but I don't think they've ever actually, like, been afraid of me, so no. Alright, let's get another torn page. Woo, another torn journal page. So now I need to pick another door, and I went right last time, so I'll go left this time. There we go. Ooh, the library! I want to read a book. The distinct aroma of old musty books sweeps across the room. Interesting. Okay. Old dusty clock sits on the wall. What time is it here? 11:11. Okay. So we're back to the doubles. What engraved marker? Which one is this? We were doing the 7 deadly sins. Yep, here's gluttony. Some feel as though gluttony is a trait of the self-serving, who disregard what actions may spell doom for others. Gluttony is also an escape from a reality that's consuming one from within. Interesting. Can I do anything with these bookshelves? There appears to be one book left on the shelf that's in noteworthy condition, and it just might be legible. I'm gonna read that book. You flip through a few pages of the well-kept book until stopping on a page with something of interest to you. It appears to be a handwritten page of some sort, perhaps a journal or diary. Perhaps it's just an open letter to anyone who may find it. It reads as follows. I don't know who's going to read this. Hell, I've barely touched anything in this place since I got here. A few things I've come to realize since being trapped in these halls. For starters, it appears that there are foul magics at play here. I found grisly ritualistic altars, human sacrifices, half-eaten corpses, mass graves of nameless bones, and worse, if you can imagine worse, that is. I've also met a few other wanderers in my journey through these halls. I've shared a few words and have had some knowledge bestowed upon me. I helped a woman escape from a grotesque abomination, only to find out that she was a witch with a hankering for human flesh. No one, and no thing here is to be trusted under any circumstances, and to be quite honest, the longer I spend within the testing chamber, the more I can understand why. From what I understand, the only way out of this place is to find a sacred mirror of some sort. Without the mirror, our souls are forever lost in purgatory, doomed to endlessly wander these halls for eternity. Many come seeking answers, few make it out alive. I've yet to see anyone survive here for longer than a day or two, and I'm beginning to think that I'll be no exception. Through constant exploration and a ruthless amount of digging, my studies have led me to the conclusion that this place was originally built to keep the souls of the damned from escaping their eternal prison. But whoever built this place wanted something good to come from their presence. Other wanderers I've spoken to believe that the souls who are trapped here are meant to offer wisdom and guidance based on the mistakes of their past lives. A veiled woman used to wander these halls until she was turned to stone, but she served as a caretaker and guiding light in the darkness for quite some time before she crossed paths with one of the worst entities that roam these halls. Some claim that not everything here is evil. I'm not so sure about that. I was told that if I came here, I would gain the answers I sought. I don't even know if that's a possibility at this point. My skin has begun to rot off my bones, and I don't know how much longer I can last on this journey through what I can only describe as a living hell. To be quite honest with you, I don't even know if I'm still alive anymore, and if I am, I don't know how much longer that's meant to last. Signed, a wanderer. Interesting. So just learned a lot more about this place. So need to find a mirror to escape? Alright. Interesting. Anything on this bookshelf? Okay, there's another book. One book in particular appears to be unburnt. As a matter of fact, it doesn't even look like it belongs with the others on the shelf. What would you like to do? I will read it. You flip through a few pages of the mysterious unburnt book until stopping on a page that is covered in images of butterflies. There are various depictions of human-like figures morphing into small critters. Their arms and legs shrink. Oh, these butterflies are people! Their torsos turn into smaller abdomens, and some of them even sprout wings, judging by the imagery. I'm glad I've only gotten 2 wings. The book has a detailed passage about various things you might encounter in the testing chamber. Oh, that's good. Good to be prepared. We're finally getting some explanation for this place. It reads as follows. To the trapped souls who seek vindication and absolution, read on. If you believe that your soul has been wrongfully kept within the confines of the testing chamber, you may undergo the trials of wisdom in an attempt to free yourself from these halls and relinquish all captivity, severing the bounds that shackle you to this prison. One of the first steps in this process is finding the old hag that wanders these halls and paying a tribute of her choosing. Once the hag has agreed to assist you, she will bestow upon you a transmogrification spell, which will turn you into a creature of your choosing. Many choose to become butterflies, as it's easier to get around, and you can make yourself more or less noticeable by sticking to the shadows, only venturing into the light when you deem it necessary. This also allows you to keep yourself out of the range of threats from down below, as most of the entities that wander these halls do so by foot. Once the transmogrification has taken full effect, you must seek out a wanderer and offer your life to them. If the wanderer accepts, you must bestow upon them a blessing of knowledge that may aid them in their journey. If the watcher deems your blessing worthy of your freedom, then your soul shall be forever freed from the testing chamber. Where your soul travels after this process is complete is still unknown, but one thing is for certain. No soul who has ever left these halls has ever returned. Signed, Alice. Okay. I want to become a cat. So I need to find the old hag. Okay. Interesting. Oh my, more bookshelves. Something doesn't feel right about the books that rest on the shelves before you. It's almost like they're not quite what they seem. Perhaps they're not even books at all. Is it a hag? I need a hag. Shelves packed full of dusty old books line the walls of this room. None of the books seem to be written in a language you've seen before. Some of these books almost look familiar to you. Perhaps they're alternate versions of something you've read before. The wood used to build these shelves almost seems as though it were rotted before the shelves were actually constructed. The books themselves are not in much better condition. Alright then. Hello, butterfly. Hello, Jalog! What game is this? This is the testing chamber. It is weird and confusing. It's part of the test series, which has been like a series of personality tests like things that are really dark and spooky, but then like give you good insight and information at the end. This is the testing chamber, which I'm like trapped in this chamber and having to like do soul searching and answer questions to get out. It is very weird. I just learned a bit more information about what's going on here, but I still don't really know what's going on. To get out, I need to find an old hag and be transfigured into a creature, and then find a wanderer and offer them my life in exchange for a blessing. And if the blessing's good enough, I get out. But then another thing I read talked about finding a mirror, so I don't know. An old wooden chest rests before you, locked and chained shut. A handprint appears to be carved into each side of the chest, along with a set of words. The 2 words are as follows: offensive and defensive. What would you like to do? It looks cool. It is really neat. Also, it has like little decisions like this that I don't know what exactly it means. I'm going to rest my hand on defensive. The chain on the chest breaks with a loud metal clank. The contents of the chest are yours for the taking. Is it a wisdom token? Ooh, an iron shield! You will live with your decision whether you like it or not, Wanderer. Okay. Was that a good or bad decision? And more questions to answer. I will fill in the blanks. Would you consider yourself to be a gambler? No, I do not like to gamble. Would you consider yourself to be a confident individual? I project confidence. Like, I'm good at portraying myself with confidence, but I don't really feel it. So, I would in the fact that I present myself confidently. So, yes. Would you consider yourself to be more or less independent? Yes. Would you consider yourself to be attractive? I've been told I am. I do not personally see it. I don't think I'm unattractive. Yeah, I'll just go with yeah. No, Like, I don't think I'm unattractive. But I also don't necessarily think I'm attractive. So, no. If you could implant a microchip into your hand that would replace all handheld electronic devices that you currently use, and your hand would act as a substitute for anything and everything you could need in that regard, would you do it? No, that does not sound like a good idea. I'd be too worried to do that. Do you lie to people on a daily basis? No. Have you ever been afraid of suffocating? No. Have you ever been afraid of someone breaking into your home and harming your animals? I am now. Yes, actually, yes. Are you confident in your ability to defend yourself if need be? I know a little bit of self-defense. Yes. Would you fight against insurmountable odds in order to protect a stranger's life from others who sought to wrongfully do them harm? Insurmountable odds? Like, I would try to defend them. I would, like, call for help. I would try to get them help. But I don't think I'm the best person to fight for them. Like, I don't think I would do any good. I think I would find someone who could actually help. Hello, Afafio. How are you doing? Would you consider yourself to be materialistic? Where were I? Or where was I? I can't translate words in my head. What do you mean, where was I? I've been home. I've been in my house. I'm a little bit materialistic, yeah. Do your friends often share a similar set of morals and values to your own? Some do, some don't. Most of my friends do. So yeah, most of my friends do. Do your friends often share your same interests, dreams, and ambitions in life? Interests. Yeah, we have a lot of common interests. Ambitions. I'm the only one of my friends that is into content creation and that kind of stuff. But same interests, yes. If you can't beat them, join them. Do you agree with this expression? No. If you can't beat them, join them. You can also go off and do your own thing and not even worry about them. So, no. Do you believe in the idea of soulmates? I don't know. I go back and forth on this. I think God makes people who work well together. And could definitely design two people to go together. But I don't know. Like, the term soulmates is just weird to me. So I'm gonna say no. Alright, get another torn page. Oh, excuse me, butterfly, I'm not gonna harm you because you used to be a person. And I also started feeling really guilty. A stone statue of a veiled woman stands tall before you. She holds an old, leather-bound book pressed tightly against her bosom. What would you like to do? I'll lay a token at the feet. You hear a voice echo in your mind. Others will always treat you in any way which you decide to let them. If you wish to be treated differently, then show them what behaviors you will and will not accept. I 100% agree with that. Yes. If you let yourself be walked over, people will expect that they're able to do that to you, so they will continue to do it. But if you stand up for yourself, they won't treat you like that anymore. I mean, that's how I lost my oldest friend in the world. I always let her walk all over me, and then I became more confident and started not letting her do that anymore, and she didn't like that, so we stopped talking. And I'm better off for it. Okay, so I'm still alternating doors, so we're gonna go through this one. Hopefully I find a hag or Paradise of the Damned. Oh my, this is different. This suddenly looks very different from every other room I've been in. The bright sunlight burns your eyes and causes a brief but blinding headache. Out of the darkness into the lights. Enjoy the warmth while it lasts. Cat! Kitty! Kitty! Hi! You notice a small cat-like creature wandering about aimlessly. I want to pet the kitty. Foxy! Hi, Foxy! You reach down to inspect the tags that are securely fastened to the collar of the animal. It reads the name Foxy. Hi, Foxy! Oh, it's so cute! So cute! There's another crystallized flower petal. I don't know what collecting these do, but it must be important for something, right? What's this well? An old well sits open and welcoming in the hot desert sun. It appears to be functioning and equipped with all the necessities to gather water. As you peer down the well, you see something reflecting light within the darkness. What would you like to do? I will raise the buckets. You begin to raise the bucket from the well using the rope as a pulley. What have I got? You've acquired a golden lute! I'm a bard now. Sweet. What's on this board? A notice pinned to the bulletin board. It reads as follows. You don't have to stay, but you don't have to go. You could survive here forever, you at least deserve to know. The fruit is safe to eat, the water is as fresh as can be, and if you choose to stick around, you'd be in good company. Okay, so basically saying this is like a little miniature paradise within the testing chamber. I can choose to stay here and cease my attempts to try to escape. And I'd be able to survive here just fine. Can I do anything with the water? Nope. I want to go swimming. Well, I have more questions to answer. Do you ever wish life could be free of drama? Oh, yes. If you could leave your current life to live in paradise, would you do it? No, I'm happy with my life. Would you ever live in a place where crime was commonplace and it was up to you to constantly have to defend yourself if need be? No, I would rather not. If you discovered that when you were conceived, you were one of 4 identical embryos who look, talk, and act just like you, would you ever want to meet your other siblings? Oh, yes, definitely. Would you consider yourself to be the most honest person you know? No. I'm fairly honest, but I wouldn't say I'm the most honest person I know. People are strange when you're a stranger. Do you agree with this statement? Yes. Like, once when you don't know someone, you could interpret things in many different ways. You don't really know them, but once you get to know them, things that might have seemed strange now have a meaning to them. So, yes. Do you believe that one should always stand up for what they believe in, regardless of the consequences? Yes. Have you ever caused someone to have a near death experience? Oh, I hope not. Would you play Russian roulette for a chance at $10 million? If you win, you walk away with the money, but if you refuse to play, your net worth immediately becomes 0 and you lose everything you've worked for. No. Like I said, I don't like gambling. Are you oftentimes afraid of change? Yes. Do you suffer from pain on a daily basis? I deal with back pain, but it's not like bad. I deal with pain in like mental health wise. But I have back pain on a daily basis, so yeah. Have you ever wished you couldn't feel pain at all? Yes. If you could grow wings and fly far away, would you? No, I don't like the idea of free flying. Like, I like flying in an airplane, but there's like floor underneath me. I don't think I'd like to fly if I didn't have a floor underneath me. Do you ever feel invisible to the world? Yes. If the things you owned and what you purchased had no bearing on what people thought of you, would you choose to spend your money differently? No, I pretty much get what I want. Okay. Another torn page. I wonder what would happen if I didn't choose to answer any of the questions, or if I only chose to answer some. I wonder, like, how this affects the endings. This desert cactus is covered with thick thorns. It's probably wise not to touch it. This plant offers what appears to be a bright red, ripe and sweet fruits to those hungry enough to take a bite. What would you like to do? I'm gonna walk away. I'm worried that, like, if I eat the fruit, I'd be stuck here. Beautiful green leaves grow brightly and healthily from this desert plant. Okay. This tree has managed to survive the desert heat. It provides a relaxing shade underneath its branches and leaves. This tree has seen better days and seems to be in desperate need of water. Can I get it water? Is there any way to, like, get it water? This tree has managed to flourish in spite of its environment. Water runs cleanly beside the tree, clearly offering much needed sustenance and hydration. The water seems to run cold and fresh from the mountainside. I want to be able to get water. Okay, what's this thing? A winged totem stands tall before you. An orb made of crystal absorbs sunlight and produces an incredible amount of heat, glistening and gleaming brightly. What would you like to do? I'm going to peer into the orb. You gaze upon the orb and peer deeply into the glass. Something beneath the orb glimmers in the sunlights. You have acquired a wisdom token! And the door is unlocked. Can I do anything else? Okay. Alright, well, I guess that's it. Only one door to go through, so I will continue on. A return to madness. And back another room. These rooms seem even more depressing after that nice little oasis. And into the darkness you shall return. There's flowers? Oh. Worms writhe and wriggle between the dirt and bloody flower stems. They seem to be feeding on chunks of flesh and bone within the soil itself. And here's like, ooh, there's flowers. This place isn't so bad. What about this one? A clay pot with an assortment of flowers rests on the table. After inspecting the coagulated soil, it seems as though the flowers are being watered with blood. A decrepit leather chair sits in front of the cracked wooden table. In the seat of the chair rests a pool of blood that seems fresh and tacky, as if someone injured sat there to rest recently. Ah! What time is it here? 12:22. Okay. What is back here? I'm gonna pick up the crystallized flower petal. See the I love you not stat guy person thing. Whatever that means. What is here? A pot of flowers sits on the wooden table. The flower pot seems tilted slightly, as if it's sitting on top of something and providing a lack of balance. What would you like to do? I'll look under the flower pots. A small coin is wedged underneath the pot, making it uneven on the table. Woo, another wisdom token! And now to answer more questions. The only thing about these games is there's so much talking involved. I always go hoarse. You begin to read questions, blah blah. Would you consider yourself to have a chaotic personality? I'm chaotic neutral. No, I consider myself more neutral good. So, no. Would you consider yourself to be a passionate person? Yes. Would you consider yourself to be a gentle soul? What does that even mean? You're such a gentle soul. Like, really, what does that actually mean? I guess? Like, chat, what does gentle soul mean? Like, really? That is such a weird thing. Like, I've heard that before, but what is that actually supposed to mean? Such a gentle soul. Like, I'm gentle with people, like, I care about people, but I have a dark side, too. Like, I find death humor hilarious. I have a very dark sense of humor. I'm gonna say no. I don't, in some way, I'm gonna say no, because I don't know what that's supposed to be. Would you consider yourself to be kind? Now, that is a yes. I think maybe like an angel. Yeah, I'm not like an angel. To your knowledge, has anyone ever hated you? I mean, like, maybe in middle school, a really catty girl who, one of my boyfriends at the time might have hated me, but I doubt she actually hated me. She pretended to be my friend, but, hang on, my dad is calling me. I'm going to be right back. I am back. He was just checking in after the whole carbon monoxide detector going off and my entire world going crazy this morning. Hate is a big word. I agree, Jalog. I agree. I don't think anyone's ever dedicated that much energy to me. So, no. Have you ever truly hated someone else? Yes, I do hate someone. Currently, still. I'm working on. Forgive but never forget. Do you agree with this statement? Yes. Forgiving does not mean something was okay. It means that you are releasing yourself from dealing with that. Like, forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is for you. But if someone wronged you, you shouldn't forget it. You should remember it so you're cautious of the same thing happening in the future. So, yes. Everything happens for a reason. No, not necessarily. There's a lot of people have free will. People do stupid things and hurt people, and that's not for a reason. Do you believe that war is sometimes necessary? No. I don't think it is. Like, I understand in the world that we live in, sometimes countries have to do it because of something that's going on. But I think in a perfect world, it would not be necessary. So, no. If your mother was in terrible pain, bedridden, and only weeks from an inevitable death, and she begged you to end her suffering, would you find a way to assist in her suicide? No, I could not do that. I couldn't. Do you ever take a step back to reflect on where you're headed in life? Yes. Have you ever experienced what most would consider a severe bout of rage? Yes. Would you consider yourself to be a good judge of character? Yes. Do you ever feel uneasy for no particular reason? Oh, yeah. Do you have any long-term goals? And if you do you have a plan in place in order to accomplish them? Yes. My goal is to become famous. I'm gonna keep posting videos till it happens. Half joking. Alrighty then. Let's go lay a wisdom totem. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. The grass is greener wherever you decide to water it. Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. And I think that is a great, like, metaphor for just self-care in general. Like, if you feel like the grass in your life is brown, take care of yourself. Water yourself, essentially. I like that. Yeah. The grass can be green if you dedicate the time to it. I will go through this one. I'm really scared about just going in circles, though. A silent prayer. I'm so curious about, like, what it means having to pick doors. Maybe they would all go to the same room, and it's just to freak us out. For the first time since wandering these halls and chambers, you get a sense of peace from being in this room. Ooh, nice. Okay, there's just a book over there. I'm gonna explore first. Get the crystal. Woo! He appeared, like, right behind me that time. That was weird. Okay. What's the deal with this chest? A handprint appears to be carved into each side of the chest, along with a set of words. The two words are as follows. Blessing and curse. I'm definitely gonna rest my hand on blessing. I don't want to be cursed. What's inside? A golden crucifix. Cool. Ask and ye shall receive, wanderer. Thank. Alright. What's this? A large golden symbol sits atop a stone monument in the corner of the room. It radiates a pure, positive energy that draws you in and brings you comforts. Awesome. If you could pray for anything at all, what would you beg of your gods, Wanderer? Would you like to pray at the mysterious altar? Pray for forgiveness. Pray for resolve, pray for a blessing, or walk away. Well, this place is considered kind of a hell. So I guess pray for forgiveness so I can maybe get out. And pray for forgiveness for those 2 butterflies I took the wings off of, because it told me to collect butterfly wings, but I didn't realize I was killing the butterflies. So yeah, pray for forgiveness. You kneel before the altar, shut your eyes, and meld into the blackness of the room. And also, the other thing I would have picked was blessing, and I just got the blessing from the trunk, so. And recite a prayer in your head. Ooh. What? A sense of peace washes over you, and you feel like everything is going to be alright. Awesome! I think that was a good decision on my part. Just from, like, what they've said about this place, I feel like forgiveness is the main way to get out. What's in this barrel? As you listen closely, a knocking seems to be coming from within the barrel. Interesting. Can I break it open? Well, I don't want to smash the barrel if there's someone inside it. I'm gonna knock on it. You extend your hand towards the barrel and begin to knock back. As you pull your hand back, you feel something in your palm. Ooh, wisdom token. Now, can I break it to see what's inside it? Nope. Okay. And what time is it in this room? Pray with me are carved in the bottom. Okay. 10 o'clock. Okay. Time has definitely just gotten random. Yeah, the book was on this side. There we go. Alright, fill in more answers. Do you think about death often? Define often. Like, I think about it some, sure, but I don't know, like, what is considered often. Not often. I wouldn't say often. Do you believe you're going to live a long, eventful life? I hope so. I'm gonna live like I am. Do you ever talk to yourself? Yes. Have you ever witnessed an event you just couldn't explain? I don't think so. Have you ever had the fear or suspicion that someone was living inside your house without your knowledge? No. Do you ever sleep with your feet hanging off the edge of the bed? No. I'm too scared. Have you ever considered that you might be crazy and just don't know it? Yes. Does the thought of an afterlife bother you or make you feel uneasy? No. Does the thought that there might not be anything after life bother you? Yes. Would you be willing to give up sex or masturbation for a year if it meant gaining a deeper sense of peace in the end? Yes. Would you consider yourself to be easily manipulated at times? No. Would you consider yourself to be a manipulative individual at times? Yes. That's why I don't get manipulated as easy. I'm good at manipulating others. Not in a bad way. Just, like, I sometimes know what things to say to convince people to see things my way. I've mostly just done that with my bosses in the past. Tried to make them think that things were their ideas that I wanted, and got in my way. Have you ever felt like you were being followed even when no one was there? Yes. Humans are the most dangerous thing on the planet. Do you agree with this statement? Yeah. Humans can definitely do the most harm to the planet, so yes. Would you consider yourself to be a dangerous person? No. Alright, skip my torn page. How many rooms are there? Okay. So I've been alternating, so should probably just go through this door. Yes. The Halls of the Harvester. That sounds bad. Whatever positive feelings of warmth or comfort you initially felt in the previous room, you feel the polar opposite here. Kinda got that from the name, yeah. Bloodied water fills the tub in the corner. The blood surrounding the tub feels warm, wet, and fresh. What would you like to do? I'm gonna do a stupid thing and reach into the tub because I'm curious. You reach your hand into the water and sift through thick, mucousy water. You feel something small and solid at the bottom of the tub. I figured there was something there. You bring it to the surface and inspect it. Hey, it's a wisdom token! Yay! And what is this? An extremely keen blade rests on a tray atop the table. Alongside the blade rests a slab of meat with a bite taken out of it. Upon further inspection, it appears to be a kidney. That's not good, right? This room is definitely the scariest I've been in. Oh, it says help on the wall. That's nice. I love that I can recognize that it's a kidney. I don't think I would be able to. This will be one of the 7... Every other cross I've found has been one of the 7 deadly sins. So, wrath. One's wrath may be a burden upon one's very own soul, but not upon the soul in which wrath is sought to be placed. For if we were to set out for a plot of vengeance and retribution, we must first dig 2 graves before we begin our journey forward. That's true. And that's one of the reasons forgiveness is for yourself, not for the other person. Because you suffer from that. Okay, what time is it here? The word help is crudely written in blood upon the case of the clock. Lovely. 6:54. I don't know what all these times mean. Okay, guess I'm answering more questions. I'm so confused as to, like, what I'm actually doing here. Would you consider yourself to be a highly accomplished individual? Yes, I think I have decent accomplishments. Would you say that you sometimes lack motivation? Oh, yes. Would you say that you sometimes lack discipline? Yeah. I have trouble sticking to habits and stuff. Have you ever faked your confidence level and pretended to be more confident than you actually are? Oh, yes. Have you ever had the regret of keeping someone in your life for too long? Yes. Would you say that you have a tendency to hide your true emotions from people? Yes. Are you afraid of what others might think of you if they knew all your deepest, darkest secrets? Yes. Have you ever lived in a constant state of dread, just wondering when the next horrible event was going to take place in your life? Yes. Have you ever used a substance or activity to mask your pain or avoid reality? Yes. If you knew exactly what you had to do in order to become the best version of yourself, but it would take constant hard work, determination, discipline, and sacrifice, would you pursue that endeavor? I would pursue it, but like I said, I don't have the best discipline, so I would try to pursue it, and then would fall off the wagon 50 times, but I would keep trying, so yes. Are you comfortable with the idea of living a life of mediocrity? No. Do you believe that for one reason or another, for better or worse, most people don't deserve you or what you bring to their life? What? I mean, I do feel like most people deserve better. What? No. If you and your significant other were actively witnessing a heinous and tragic act of violence taking place right in front of you, would you risk the life of your significant other to intervene, knowing that at any point in time, the assailants could turn on both of you? No. If you were in a survival situation with your best friend, and only one of you could make it out alive, would you choose your survival over theirs? No. If you could give up your current life in order to pursue your greatest goals and dreams with the highest chance of immediate success, would you? See, like everything else about giving up my current life, I'm like, no, I wouldn't do that. No, I wouldn't do that. But I'm ambitious. I want to meet my goals. I want to be great and successful. Like, how much of my current, like, giving up my current life, can I keep my fur babies, my friends, and my husband? I'll give up everything else as long as I can have those 3 things. I will give up everything else to get what I want. But I won't give up those 3 things. But I guess no. Because there's definitely ways. There's definitely ways I could have more opportunities I'm choosing not to pursue to be with my friends and family. So, no. Because I'm not giving them up. Alright. I went right last time, so left it is. Looking for a hag or a mirror, please? I've already found a mirror once, but... Oh. Oh, I have not laid the wisdom token down. My bad. She holds a bloody human heart in her hands. Lovely. What's your wisdom, lady? Well, others are thinking you should be doing. Yeah, but you have to think before you do. Okay, now I'll go through this door. The Pit of Fools. Something calls to you and pulls at your very soul. It almost feels like something in this room is begging you for help. Interesting. I will get this. Whoa! That is a pit of skeletons. A pit of skulls and assorted bones. Rust beneath the floor. You hear faint whispers coming from the pit, calling out to you. What would you like to do? Oh boy. Well, I got the sensation that something needed my help, so... You dig through the bones and find two skulls that seem to be emanating a large amount of energy, almost as if they're calling to you. As you hold the skulls in your hands, the whispering you once heard has grown silent. No, that's it. What's at this table? A wooden table sits in the middle of the entryway to the chamber. It's coated in a thick layer of dust, and within the dust there sits an imprint of an object that has seemingly been removed. Okay, so can I find the object? A cracked stone platform rests in the corner. There seems to be an indentation where something once sat in the middle of the platform. What would you like to do? Can I place something? Oh, I place a skull. Perfect. Okay. What time is it? There appears to be a piece of rotten flesh inside the case of the clock. Maggots have begun to feast on the remnants of whatever rests inside. Lovely. This place is so nice. The hands of the clock have snapped in half. Okay. A bloody birthday cake sits on the dirty floor. The candles have been lit and already snuffed out. What would you like to do? I'm not eating it! I will dig into it to see if there's anything inside. Oh, I hate the sound effects. Nope. As you're digging through the cake, you find something round and hard within. Woo, wisdom token. Those are good. And I guess I need to put another skull here. That does not look human. A place for everything, and everything in its place. I do like that. The room suddenly grows colder. Something about the energy here has shifted. Okay. Oh, there's something here now. As you approach the skull and candles, you can hear a faint whispering coming from the table they sit on. You can't quite make out the words, no matter how closely you listen. When you try to move the skull, it won't budge. All the candles have been lit and burned halfway, except for one which remains pristine. What would you like to do? I'll take the unlit candle. A powdery substance coats your fingers. I have acquired a bone dust candle. Lovely. Okay, and more questions to be answered. We all have our demons. Do you agree with this statement? Yes, I think everyone has their own struggles, own problems. Have you ever felt dead inside? Yes. Have you ever thought about murdering someone? not legitimately. I've thought about it idly, not as anything I would actually do. But I have had the thought, so technically the answer is yes, even though I want a full disclaimer here that it was not in seriousness. It was like in anger, but like I would never have done anything. I would never have done anything. It was like, oh, I bet I have the capability to murder you. I bet I would know what to do. I could get away with it. But I would not actually do it. Have you ever felt suicidal? Yes. If you had an incurable disease, would you intentionally transmit it to someone you dislike? No! That's terrible. If you had 3 wishes, would you ever give one away? If there was someone who needed it, like it says ever, like that word ever, there are circumstances in which I would. So, yes. Would you consider yourself to be controlling? Yes. Do you believe that your life is of great importance and value? No. Do you believe that your fate is predetermined? No. Do you believe that our thoughts can manifest into reality? To some extent. Like, I think if, like, in your personal life, yes. I think that, like, if you think positive things, you will have a more positive life. I don't think you can be like, but I don't believe in, like, manifesting as in, I believe that this external thing will happen, and that makes reality. If that makes sense. But I do believe that, like, if you think more positively about, like, the things you do in your life, that will, in turn, make more positive results because you just have a more positive outlook. So... Is that a yes or a no, though? Because, like, I guess in some ways, yes. Would you consider yourself to be optimistic? No, I'm a realist. Would you consider yourself to be pessimistic at times? Dang it, it says at times. At times, yes. I'm a realist, though. Steven says I'm a pessimist. I say I'm a realist. Have you ever wondered if you were already dead and just didn't know it? Yes. Have you ever felt physically restrained or held down by an unseen force? No. Do you believe that you have a soul? Yes. All right. I feel like we have to be getting close to the end. Which way did I go last time? I think I went right last... No. I went right last time. So, left. A way out! Hey, this is good! This is good, right? Right? You hear the shuffling of feet in the darkest parts of the room, just out of reach of firelight. You get the sense that something very bad has transpired here. Parchment and quill rests on the table before you. There appears to be a note left from a previous visitor. I will read that. If you're reading this, then it's already too late for me. I should have heeded the warning of the note I found earlier. I can't take it anymore. I shouldn't be here. No one should be here. This place does things to you. It distorts your mind. It drives you to do things. Things a good soul would never do. The things I've done. Oh God, please. Forgive me for the awful things I've done here. I should have listened, and now there's only one thing left to do. There's only one way out of this hell. And it knows it too. The watchful one. The monster in the walls. It knows just when we're about to break, and it provides an exit for us. It provides our way out. Just when we can't take any more, I will take my exit now. I will find solace in knowing that my selfishness, my greed, will not go unpunished. I will atone for all I've done, all of those I've hurt, and search for answers of self. I will take my leave, and pray that my soul finds its way out of these wretched chambers once and for all. Signed, Just Another Wanderer. Well, that is very dark and depressing. People who say they are realists are just pessimistic people who always think they're right. I know you think that, Steven. I know. But I am always right, so. A blood-spattered statue of an angel, don't blink, with her eyes fixated on a blade sitting in blood rests atop a stone table. It almost seems as though the angel's eyes shift and look at you for a brief moment. Don't blink, guys! Don't blink! What about this angel? Is it the same thing? Stands before you, pressing her hands together with her head hung low deep in prayer. As you stand near her, you can hear a faint whispering coming from the statue. It briefly looks as though the statue's lips are moving, as if the angel is mumbling to herself. But the longer you stare, the more silent and still the statue grows. And what's this? A dull iron blade sits in blood, resting atop a stone table. There's a certain darkness that emanates from the blade, and it gives off a very negative energy. You get the sense that this blade was not used for the best of intentions. What was the way out you chose? What time is it? Hands replaced by severed fingers. 1:11. Okay. Wait, I think that was like the first clock was 1:11. Okay. So this chest, what words are on this chest? The two words are as follows: rags and riches. What would you like to do? I'm gonna rest my hand on riches. I don't want rags. The chain on the chest breaks with a loud metal clank. The contents are yours. Solid gold bars. Ooh. Just as poor as you were before you began this journey, wanderer, even with a pocket full of gold. Anything up here? Just another flower petal. This one has blood underneath it. The object seems to be stuck inside a severed toe. Okay, I'm still taking it. She loves me not. Still just the same there. Okay, going to go answer more questions. I really thought that I was about to be able to leave when I entered this room. Do you love yourself? No. Have you ever hated yourself? Yes. Have you ever wished that you had never been born? Yes. Do you ever get chills up your spine when someone walks behind you? Yes. Have you ever watched someone die? No. Have you ever stolen something personal from someone and then returned it without them knowing? No. Do you always lock the doors to your home? Yes. Do you sleep with a window open? No. Would you add a decade to your life if it meant taking a decade off the lifespan of a random individual who you'll never meet or come in contact with? No. Have you ever felt like someone was watching you through your window? Yes. Have you ever wished that someone you've hated would die? No. Do you ever fear the possibility of permanently losing your memory? Yes. Would you consider yourself to be a good person? Yes. Would you consider yourself to be a bad person? No. Have you ever felt like maybe you're not even a person at all? Yes. I have depersonalization, derealization issues, so yes. Reality does not seem real at times. Okay, there's a car alarm going off in the neighborhood. I was like, is that in the game? Okay, so this statue, her hands are firmly clamped around a human blade, squishing the tissue as gray matter pours forth and envelopes her cold stone fingers. Well, I'm still laying a token at her feet. What's the wisdom I get? If you believe you can do something, then chances are you can. If you believe you can't, well then, you're probably right about that too. See, that's what I mean about the manifesting. I think in that way, like if you believe you can, then you will keep trying till you do the thing. Okay, time to take the right door. Innocence lost. Okay. As you open your eyes and gaze around the room, visions of your childhood cloud your mind. Some memories of you Some memories bring you nostalgic bliss, whereas others bring you brief heartache and grief before you quickly flush the thoughts from your memory and continue onward. Interesting. Unopened presents and gift-wrapped boxes litter the table. Each of them feel nearly weightless, as if all of the boxes are empty. Blood-soaked gifts litter the table before you. Each box looks pristinely wrapped, yet caked with dirt and blood. The music in this room is so disconcerting. Tattered and old, yet neatly folded blankets rest on the table. They're warm to the touch in an otherwise cold room. And more questions to be answered. Are you afraid of being forgotten? Yes. Have you ever heard voices in your head? Like, I think to myself, but no. Do you have a habit of starting projects and not finishing them? Yes. Would you say that you get sick easily? Yes. Do you ever feel like things end poorly for you even when they've been going well right up until the end? In the sense that, like, if I get into a routine, like, I'll be doing good for a week or so, and then something will go wrong, and then I'll spiral, and then everything will go badly. So yes. Not necessarily often, but it says, do you ever, so. Do you ever feel like life has been disappointing? Yeah. At some points, yeah. Would you consider yourself to be a disappointment? Yes. Do you ever feel tired, drained, and like you wish you could just sleep forever, every morning? Do you sometimes have difficulty going to sleep or even staying asleep? Going to sleep, yes. Do you ever wish you could be more productive? Yes. Do you ever suffer from intrusive thoughts that you just can't seem to flush out of your mind? Yes. Would you say that you've experienced many strained friendships or relationships in your lifetime? Yes. Have you ever felt you're drawn towards... That's the improper use of your, so I was very confused. I was like, my drawn what? You are drawn toward people in life who just aren't good for you. No. Have you ever felt like you were living in an unhealthy lifestyle? In some ways, yeah. Have you ever just wished that things could be different? Yeah. I'm fine now, but it's like this is saying, have I ever felt this? So, yeah. Could this music stop, please? I don't like it. We get dolls again. Lovely. Oh, and this time the crystals among pulled teeth. Amazing. Inside the water basin, what appears to be a drowned fetus rests stagnant and unmoving. The umbilical cord is still attached and hanging over the side of the basin. What the crap? A bucket of fetid flesh and blood overflows from the moldy, rotted wooden bucket. Inside the bucket appears to be afterbirth and the carved insides of what must have been a womb. Oh, what the crap. What the actual crap. A small ritualistic altar rests on the dirty floor. Coins sit among candles, all surrounding a picture of a mirror. Ooh, a mirror. Among the coins, you notice that there's one in particular that's only half a coin. What would you like to do? Ooh, I have another half of a coin, I think, so I'll take it. Is there a way to... useful items? Relics. Yes, I have right and left half a coin. Is there a way that I can combine them? Doesn't look like it's... What time is it here? Small bloody handprint is pressed into the case of the clock. The hands of the clock have stopped frozen on 2:22. Okay, so we're back to that pattern. Bleeding eyes, blood-soaked thighs, innocent cries, Dolly dies. Morbid sin, look within. Next of kin, begin again. Creepy. So creepy. What would you like to do? Pick up the blue or the red doll. Okay, I mean, that poem didn't really give me much. I'm gonna pick up the red doll. Just because, the blue one has red eyes. It looks like it's bleeding more, and it's making me nervous. So I'm picking up the bloody red doll. There's a blood-soaked coin underneath its dress. Cool, another wisdom token. Okay, I want out of here. I want out of here. I really want out of this room. Let me out right now. I do not like the music. Blood money. Okay, lovely. The metallic smell of iron stings your nostrils. You hear the clinking of coins in the distance, and you catch a glimmer of something in the shadows out of the corner of your eye. A demonic stone figure resides in front of you. It appears to have a space for something at the base of its statue. What would you like to do? Do I have something I can place there? Okay. Well, there's clearly something I'll be able to collect. A mysterious altar stands before you. Upon the altar rests a tattered diary. The first page seems to be ripped out. A parchment material used in the diary seems familiar. Perhaps the missing page could be reconstructed if one were to find enough pieces. I have multiple pieces. Old dusty clock, dried candle wax, okay. Hands the clock have stopped frozen on 3:33. And what is back here? Okay, so we have another of the 7 deadly sins here. Greed, okay. Greed is a hungry mouth with an insatiable appetite for more. In the absence of satisfaction for what one has, they will crave, and they will continue to eat, until they've dug their own graves with their teeth. And what is this? A massive golden chalice filled to the brim with golden coins rests on the floor. Upon further inspection, there appears to be an indentation at the base of the chalice, as if it has been moved from its original location. What would you like to do? I will take it, because I think I know where it belongs. It feels light, considering how full it is. Cool. And what is over here? Okay, we have crystal objects. Take that. Alright, got another one of these. She loves me nuts. Okay, and what's on this chest? The 2 words are as follows. Future and presence. What would you like to do? I'll rest my hand on present because I'm trying to work on living more in the present instead of obsessing over the future. Okay, what is inside? A magic mirror! Hey! Do you like what you see, Wanderer? Or perhaps you're afraid of what you might see when you gaze a bit deeper. One of those things said a mirror is the way out, right? Okay, so I should be able to put the chalice with the demon. You place a large golden chalice at the base of the statue. The golden coins within the chalice quickly melt and turn to blood, overflowing and spilling onto the floor. The blood forms a symbol on the ground before you. The chalice runneth over with blood money. Interesting. A single coin is left in the chalice, unmelted and undamaged. It's unlike the others it sat amongst, and it floats to the surface, carried by the steady flow of blood. Woo, wisdom token! There's a pentagram on the floor. That's fine. Okay. More questions to answer. Do you ever have dreams that you could swear are real? Yes. In the past, when you felt positive or happy, have you ever experienced an immediate sense of negativity that just sucks all your happiness away instantly? Yes. If you were camping alone in the woods at night and you heard a woman scream, would you investigate? First of all, I would not be camping alone in the woods at night. But if I heard a woman scream, yes. If you were alone in your home at night and you suddenly heard the sound of children laughing, yet there was no one to be found, would you continue to stay in your home for the night? No, I'm getting out of there. If you were camping in the woods alone and something kept unzipping your tent, yet you couldn't seem to figure out what it was, would you continue to stay in the woods? No! Get out of the woods! If you saw your neighbor putting a dead body in the trunk of their car, would you attempt to stop them? No, I would call the police. I would not confront them directly. If you were driving home at night and saw a naked woman on the side of the road covered in blood, would you stop to help? Yes, so this sounds kind of like a woman in white, and so I'd be a little nervous about that. If you were fast asleep in your bed, only to be awakened by an unseen force grabbing you and shaking you violently, would you attempt to go back to sleep once it was over? Yes. I would assume it's part of a dream, because I get sensations like that sometimes. If you were in an empty grocery store and a strange man appeared and suddenly started sprinting at you, would you turn and run? Yes. If you were home alone and sitting... What is with these questions? These are, like, all creepy scenarios. What is a woman in white? Different... There's a lot of different legends associated with it. I'm not super, knowledgeable. I mostly just know the version from Supernatural, where, so this might not fit up with all the lore. It's just the lore from Supernatural is, basically a woman is cheated on and in her rage murders her children and herself, and then becomes a ghost that haunts the highway and tries to get people to pick her up, and tries to get men to pick her up so they will cheat with her and then she will kill them. So that's just what it reminded me of. If you were home alone and sitting in the bathtub when suddenly the lights turned off in the bathroom and the door began to unlock and slowly swing open to reveal no one stand there, would you get dressed and leave your house immediately? Yes. Like, I feel like this is just testing all my horror movie instincts. And I know I've done wrong in some. If you had to resort to cannibalism in order to survive, do you think you could do it? Oh, like a siren on land. In some ways, yes. Though typically they're wearing white dresses and not naked and covered in blood. But I still just got the same vibe. I don't think I could. If you were stranded on a boat in the middle of the ocean, do you think you could survive long enough to be rescued? I hope so. Have you ever thought about what it would be like to burn to death? Yes. Would you consider yourself to be a morbid person? Yes. One final question remains on the page. It's emboldened and outlined in red. Ooh, this is new. Are you satisfied? Yes. I'm saying yes because this room has been like all about greed, so I think if I say yes, maybe I'll be able to leave. That's really what it all comes down to, isn't it, Wanderer? Are you satisfied? Satisfaction is the death of desire, you know. Okay, get another torn page, and I'm going to go back to that one thing that said it needed torn pages. Because I have a lot. Ooh, yeah, it's glowing now. Okay, can I... Yes, I begin to piece together each torn journal page that you've collected from previous rooms to form a full page in the diary. Yes! Final entry. An empty sky leaves our prayers in vain. A solemn swear through darkened window panes. We confess our sins of flesh and blood. for we're buried deep and swept away by flood. Our ashes carried in the midnight wind, a bitter vow we wish we could rescind, a fallacy of hope to raise our spirits high, for we're dropped below and left there to die. An appraisal of worth judged by our peers, a sign of affection as they wipe our tears. They bottle our blood and drink our sweat to build a future we don't deserve to get. And if the fires come to claim us all, the few brave souls that refuse to fall will echo through the walls of eternity to a future that the lowly won't rise to see. We chase the demons of the past to build a kingdom that will never last. Upon sweat and tears, blood and bone, we build a new place to call our home. Signed, The Madman. Interesting. But I wonder if there are different questions in the room you didn't go into. Same. But, I don't have an option to go back. I have two choices of rooms, and I have to go to one or the other. So I wonder if there's, a whole different path that I can take, or if they both inevitably just lead to the same thing, and it's just to play with my mind. Okay, did anything happen with that? No? I just got to read that? Okay. I think I'm on the right now, but I can't really remember. Oh, I have not. Did I lay the wisdom token? Okay, no, I have not. Open that chest. I've done everything else in here. Gonna lay the token down. Hear a voice echo in your mind. Courage is not being fearless, for there is no courage with the absence of fear. Courage is being afraid, yet acting anyway. Are you a courageous soul? 100%. I've heard people say, I'm afraid, I'm not courageous. I'm like, but courage is pressing on even when you're afraid. Alright. Let's go. Where to next? The interrogation room. I've been interrogated this entire time. But alrighty then. You think you hear what sounds like someone flipping through pages in a heavy tome. You can't quite figure out where it's coming from, and you don't see anyone else with you in the room. Alright. Okay, what time is it here? Are we back to 3:33? No, 4:44. Okay, I might have missed one. One half of a noose rests on this table. The rope has been severed from the loop. One half of a noose rests on this table. The loop has been severed from the rope. Oop, another grave marker. Here rests pride. Pride will always come before the fall, and it will always create long distance between two close people. Pride seeks to break us from the inside, but I assure you, no one has ever choked from swallowing their pride. I like that. Oh, whoa, what happened to me? Envy, gluttony, greed, sloth, lust, wrath, and pride. All things that grow within, all things we cannot and mustn't avoid entirely. They all have their place, and they each have their uses. Everything in life is about balance. Exceeding the bounds of moderation builds a tower upon an unstable foundation, and we shall watch our kingdoms crumble if we stack them too high and heavy with any one of these. The Watcher's been talking to me a lot more recently. I feel like that has to mean I'm getting close. What's this? An old stone plaque sits pressed against the wall. The chiseling has been lost to the test of time, and you can't quite make out what it was once meant to read. Alright, something on the other side that might help with that? Just another crystal. She loves me. There we go, I called it. Now come, wanderer, come hither at once. Wait, what? For it's finally time to meet the demon that you've been chasing all this way. What? Okay, I'm definitely getting close. But come where? Where'd you go? Yeah, things are definitely escalating. Right, what's on this chest? Knowledge and power. Knowledge. Because knowledge is power. Power without knowledge you won't get anywhere. If you have power but not knowledge, then you're doomed to fail. Book of Knowledge! Woo! It's interesting that you'd make a choice like that, Wanderer, especially considering how they're essentially the same thing. In some ways, yes, I agree with you, Watcher, but what use is power if you don't have the knowledge to use it? So this says help and is pointing at the journal. So this should be interesting. This one's blood-soaked, not animal skin. Okay. Do you feel a darkness inside of you? Yes. Have you ever felt like you were destined for more than where your life has taken you? In the past, yes. Have you ever been so afraid of the future that you just stopped trying to progress? I'm trying to think. Have I done that? Because I have been afraid of the future. I guess in some ways, yes. Have you ever considered that you might have a fear of failure? I do have a fear of failure. Have you ever considered that you might have a fear of success? No, I have not. Do you value honesty above all else? I value honesty, but not necessarily above all else, so no. Do you have a set of morals that others might consider questionable? No, I don't think so. Do you follow your own moral code? I follow a moral code, yes. Do you believe that standing for what you believe sometimes means standing alone? Yes, inevitably, yes. Are you afraid of where your life may take you in the next several years? Yeah, I don't necessarily think it's heading for anything bad, but I'm afraid of messing up and life taking me somewhere I don't want to be. Are you suffering inside right now? Yes. Do you ever wish that your words would fall onto ears that weren't so deaf? Yes. Do you ever feel like no one listens to you? Yes. That's honestly one of the reasons I'm so surprised I get like viewers on YouTube and viewers on Twitch, because I've always felt like no one listens to me. No one wants to hear my voice. So it is just amazing to me that I now have these platforms and I'm putting my voice out there and people are actually listening. Like, that is so crazy to me and so surreal. Do you ever feel like you can understand others quite well, but others cannot understand you? I feel like others can't understand me. I don't necessarily feel like I understand others, though, so no. Are you afraid of the unknown? Yes. Are you afraid of running out of time as your life comes to an end before you've managed to accomplish all the things you wish to accomplish? Yes. Are you afraid of surviving while your loved ones perish? Yes. Do you have a fear of abandonment? Yes. Do you carry around a lot of heartache from your past? Yes. Do you harbor resentment for others who have done you wrong? Yes. One person in particular. Would you say that you have some regrets in life? Yes. If you could do it all over again, would you do anything differently? Yes. I wouldn't necessarily choose to do it all over again, because what's done is done. It's got to me where I am today. But if I did do it again, I would do things differently. Are you proud of who you've become? Yes, I've come a long way. I'm very proud of that. Even though I still don't quite love myself and I still find a lot of faults within myself, I have come so far from where I was. And I love that. I love that I'm learning more about myself and I'm being more true to myself. Do you feel like your choices and circumstances in life have made you who you are? Yes, I was just saying that. Do you wish you would have been treated more fairly by others in the past? Yes. Do you strive to treat others better than you might have been treated? Yes. Do you ever wish you could help more people? All the time. Do you sometimes wish you could more easily help yourself? Oh yeah. Do you look forward to where life may take you? Yes. Do you ever feel like you aren't living up to your full potential? Yes. If you knew that following your dreams would end in certain success, would you do whatever it takes to pursue and achieve them? Yes, I'm kind of doing that. If you could travel into the past or the future, but never return to the present, would you do it? No. Have you made peace with your past? No, I'm working on that. I'm in therapy for that. Have you made peace with your current circumstances? Yes. Are you afraid of what conflict may arise in the future? Yes. If you could work twice as much as you do now and reap twice the amount of benefits from doing so, would you do it? No. I think time is too precious for that. Do you ever wish you could be forgiven for the wrong you've done? Yes. Do you sometimes blame yourself even when things may not be your fault? Yes. I feel like this one has way more questions. Is it just me? Do you feel that others place the blame on you more often than they should? No. Would you enjoy an entire month of solitude with no communication with the outside world? No. Do you wish your life turned out differently thus far? There are things I wish happened differently, but I'm happy with where I am now, so no. Are you proud of what you've managed to accomplish? Yes. Do you feel like you could have accomplished more than what you already have thus far? If I'd started following my dreams sooner, yes. Have you ever felt like you're wasting your potential in life? Have I ever? Yes. In the past, yes. Do you ever get the sense that you have a hidden talent or undiscovered potential just waiting to break free? Yes. Have you ever felt like there was something special and unique about you that you just can't place a finger on? Yes. Do you have a difficult time trusting others? Yes. Do you ever get the sense that your mind works differently from others? It does. Have you ever wanted to make other people happier than the world has made you? Yes. If I told you that everything is going to be okay, would you believe me? No, you don't know anything. On the final entry of the journal, there was a small token between the pages. Ooh, another wisdom token. In the back of the journal, there seems to be one final question hidden away. If there was a set of switches on the wall, each of them with a color and a number designated to them, with no other indicator as to what the switches did, which switch would you choose to flip? Red 1, green 2, blue 3, black 4. Black 4. Just because of these colors, that's the one I like the best. I sadly have to go already. Have a nice stream. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye. And on to another door. I'm gonna choose the one between the noose. Upon a rotting house. Oh man, I really thought that was gonna be the last one. The guy's telling me to come follow him to what? To the monster I've been chasing? Is that what he said? There's an unmistakably overabundant dampness and an exuberant amount of humidity that hangs heavy in this room. To add to the already overwhelming amount of discomfort that this chamber brings, the sound of water constantly dripping from the ceiling and walls is enough to drive someone mad if given enough time. Have I entered the back rooms? Ooh, a kitchen. That's nice. First, I want to see the time. 5:55. Okay, so we're back to this for sure. A tattered piece of parchment hangs on the wall containing ripped recipes for various meals. Below the parchment rests a butcher's block coated in blood. Lovely. Old, crusty, stale, and hardened bread sits on the countertop. Small jars of viscous liquid rest next to the bread. The sink that sits against the wall is rusted and filthy. A sour stench rises from the drain and mixes with the smell of hanging garlic and herbs on the wall above. An old iron stove sits in the corner. It's fairly filthy, but well kept in terms of remaining intact and unbroken. Above the stove contains a wall full of iron pots, pans, and various cooking utensils. Interestingly enough, the cooking utensils appear to be unused and in good condition, if not a bit dusty. Various cobweb-caked crates of rotten, moldy ingredients rest on the kitchen floor. This crate seems to contain an odd mix of carrots and peppers. This crate contains salt-preserved fish heads that have not been kept properly. This crate seems to contain cabbage. My cabbages! Spiders have made their home between the leaves. No, my cabbages! This crate seems to contain mixed grains. Lovely. This room has a lot going on in it. An old painting of dark figures standing in front of a castle sits on the wall. The figures in the painting are faceless, yet you can feel them watching you as you gaze upon them. My cabbages, yes! An ash-smudged map of lands you've never seen or heard of before rests on the wall. Nothing about the lands or travel routes seems familiar to you whatsoever. Alright. Broken glass with chunks of flesh and heaps of blood rests still on the old, splintered oak table. Cobwebs cling to the stools resting around the table, and the legs of the chairs seem to be chewed apart by some small critter, adding to their degradation. Alrighty then. Oh! Hello. I'm gonna check the other side first. But, hello. An unworldly king sits alone at a decrepit wooden table, lost deep in thoughts. He pays no attention to you as you approach, yet he mumbles quietly to himself, just loud enough for you to make out a few words. The king's eyes shift violently toward the crystalline petal collection that you've acquired on your journey. The king fixates on the petals for a moment, then averts his gaze from yours as the room grows dark and still. I've been expecting you, wanderer. At long last you've arrived. I presume you know very little of the petals you hold. Allow me to share with you the tale of how they came to be. Finally, an explanation for that. There's a story of a lonely man who lives in a very lonely, dreary, gray world, for everything is dull, drab, and melancholy. The air bitter, the sky blackened. The dark sky looms and is filled with even darker clouds. The desolate land in which the man treads is nothing but flat and endless. There lies no clear direction to travel, no destination in the bleak landscape. The atmosphere encompassing this realm has a distinct void of purpose, and all who wander here are most certainly lost. But not all who wander are lost. The man walks through these fields each and every day alone, until one very special day, in the middle of these dreary fields, he discovers something full of color and life. Something vibrant, something which radiates a rare, special glow, unlike anything he's ever seen before. He carefully approaches and looks down upon what seems to be causing this phenomena. Before him sits a flower, but not just any flower, mind you. No, this flower is special. This beautiful, intoxicating flower is unlike anything he's ever seen before. It radiates a positive energy, a powerful aura, and upon seeing this flower, the man feels instantaneously euphoric. He lays down next to the flower and admires its beauty, basking in the constant flow of energy that it gives him. He wonders, how can something with beauty such as this exist in a world engulfed in seemingly endless darkness and gloom? And with that, he spends as much time as he can with the flower, until the sun inevitably sets. And darkness begins to fall. It's time to go home. It's time to leave. It's time to say goodbye. The man crawls to his feet, dusts himself off with a few brushes of his attire, and feels noticeably happier than he did before coming upon the flower. He then walks home and enters his small wood-built house, gets into his bed made of rough woolen covers, and tries as best as he can to get some sleep. As he closes his eyes, the last thought on his mind before slipping into unconsciousness is the flower, and the flower is what he dreams of on that night. When he awakes from his incredible dream of spending more time with the flower, he decides to get dressed and immediately returns to the field in which he saw the thing that radiated such vibrance and beauty, hoping that it would still be there waiting for him. After traveling, he arrives in the field, and there the flower still remains. So the man happily lays down next to the flower once more, just as he had done the day before, and begins to enjoy the energy that the flower pours into him, admiring the petals endlessly. And then, darkness falls once more. The man begins to leave, but this time less satisfied than before. Is this like a metaphor for drugs? He arrives at home, gets into bed, and tries to sleep, but this too offers a different experience than the previous nights. As he closes his eyes, the man is restless. He's uncomfortable. He's perturbed, and he has a difficult time falling asleep because the flower that makes him so happy isn't with him anymore. The flower is somewhere else, in some field, growing in such a dark world all on its own, and he too is all on his own. The man begins to bellow and weep until eventually he cries himself to sleep. He awakens in the morning, immediately gets dressed in whatever clothing he can find, and bolts out the door to the field, not slowing his pace even for a moment until he arrives. This definitely sounds like some kind of addiction. He leaps to the dirt floor and lays with the flower all day long, enjoying the energy that it radiates, just as he did in the days prior. And just as the days prior had ended, the darkness falls once again. The man gets up and begins to walk home, saddened and burdened with a heavy heart, but something calls him back. A feeling in the pit of his stomach, a hole in his heart. He turns and walks back to the flower, and he plucks it from the soil in which it has grown its entire life. He puts it into his pocket and hurries home excitedly. Oh, well, it's gonna die now. He lays in bed with a smile on his face and sets the flower on his pillow. He begins to admire the beauty of the petals all night, and they continue to bring him so much joy, so much bliss that he had never had the pleasure of feeling before. The man is beyond content. For the first time in his life, in this ugly, dark world, the man is happy. For he now gets to spend all his time with the flower, and he gets to enjoy it constantly, whenever and however he'd like, never having to say goodbye. As the days go on, they quickly turn to nights, and the nights quickly turn back into days. After a week has passed and his heart is full to the brim, the man notices something about the flower that he hadn't realized before. The glow it once had has begun to fade. The color that was once so vibrant had begun to grow pale. The leaves that were once so lively and green had begun to wilt, and the stem which held it so high above the ground had become soft and started to rot. The flower was dying, and the man knew what was coming next. He watered it profusely. He nurtured it gingerly. The man did everything he could to save the flower from an impending doom. But in the end, as the days turned to weeks, and the air grew colder and increasingly bitter, the flower lost its petals, and the stem lost its color. The flower lost its energy, and then, as if all the happiness in the world had been sucked out and blown like ashes to the wind, the flower died. This is a long story. The man lamented, he wailed, he cried tears heavy to match the burden and pain within his heart. For the only thing that has ever made him happy in life, or had ever filled that void within himself, was now gone. And the man knew deep within his soul that it was never coming back. He killed the thing that he loved and treasured so dear because he wanted and craved it so badly. He wanted it for himself. His selfishness, his greed, his possession killed the flower, and he would never know happiness again. I killed her. I killed her vibrance, her beauty, her radiant energy. I plucked her from what she needed to grow and be herself. Like a candle burning in a windswept corridor, I carelessly snuffed out the flame that once shone so bright and lit the way to a better, brighter, happier future for all. Instead of enjoying my flower for what she was, instead of being appreciative of the time I had with her, I couldn't have just been content with her circumstances. I plucked her from the very source that she needed in order to flourish and grow. I sought to possess her, and in turn I lost her, forever. My flower was no longer what she once was when I came to know her, but instead left as an empty, soulless husk of her former self. And now, so too am I. Well then. Sounds like you have issues. If only I sought to appreciate rather than possess, she would still bless this world with her radiant beauty. My beautiful, unique, rare little flower, the only thing that ever brought me joy. And now I sit, alone, all alone atop my throne of nothing, a crown atop my head of emptiness only to match my heart's. King Nothing is his name. All crashes down and you break your crown. Anyone else love that Metallica song? It's one of my favorite Metallica songs, so. Where's your crown, King Nothing? It isn't funny. If I had not been so selfish, I could have had it all. But because all is what I wanted, nothing is what I got. Poetic. I deserve my emptiness. I implore you to heed my warning. For if you make the same mistakes that have wrought me this life of misery, then you will surely deserve the same fate that hath begotten this old, bitter, lonely king. Now leave your petals upon the table. Walk away from them once and for all. Leave them with me before they consume your soul too. What would you like to do? I will leave the petals. You scrounge together all of your crystalline petals and place them gently on the wooden table before the king. They begin to shake, tremble, and form into shapes before your very eyes. Ooh. You are wise beyond your years. You are smarter and better than I ever could have hoped to be. Our fates will not be shared on this day. Yay! Fresh, delicate flowers sit atop the table. They give off a sickly sweet aroma that's rather intoxicating. You can't help but feel better when being near them. Well, there we go. I will give an offering to the wisdom lady. What's my wisdom? When you're feeling pain, take the time to ponder what's hurting, why it's hurting, what you've done to deserve it, and how you got in the position you're in. Life is trying to teach you a very valuable lesson. You'll be forced to relearn this lesson over and over again if you don't take the time to learn properly the first time. What are you, my therapist? Alright, it's time to take the door on the right. Whew. Am I almost to the end? The halls of reflection. Is there the mirror that I need to find in here? You can hear a fire crackling in the distance and feel the warmth of its flame. The room smells clean and pure, as though it's been well maintained and actively lived in. Well, that's a change. A piece of parchment hangs on the wall. It contains a list of names you've never heard of. Strangely, all the names appear to be written upside down. All right. A fireplace rages on, yet the cobwebs around it cling tight and refuse to burn. There's no way that the fireplace could stay lit for a long period of time with the current state it's in. Someone has been here recently. An old painting of a man with a distorted face rests on the stone wall. His eyeball appears to be plucked out of his head and rests on the table in front of him. The painting is tilted. The Watcher. Oh, interesting. Royal tapestry hangs on the wall. It's obviously seen better days. A stone chair is positioned tightly against the wall. In his seat sits a peculiar figure. It remains idle, yet you get the sense that it's watching every move you decide to make. Is it the Watcher? Is that bear with horns the Watcher? Something rests in the hands of the figure. I will inspect. You discover it's holding a small coin. Wisdom token! Woo! What time is it? 7:06. The hands emit a faint purple glow. Cool. A statue of an unholy figure stands tall before you. It radiates a dark energy and emits great heat from within its molten belly. What would you like to do? Tossing all my coins in seems like a bad idea. Like, I feel like I should be saving them for the Lady of Wisdom. Okay, well, this is different. What's this plaque? An old plaque rests on the wall with various names chiseled into it. There are only 4 names on the plaque that you can see. 3 of them are names you've never heard of before, and the final name is yours. How do you know my name? That's interesting. Royal tapestry hangs on the wall. It's obviously seen better days. Fresh fruit sits in a bowl on the table underneath some tattered tapestries. The fruit seems like it was just picked and washed this morning. There's no sight of bugs or pests looming in the bowl, and no signs of rot or decay. Okay. And the mirror! Oh, it's the Watcher! This is it, Wanderer. This is what you've been waiting for. Every decision you've made has led you to this moment. Finally! Now, gaze upon the mirror and tell me what you see. Pressed against the wall sits a mystical mirror, swirling with radiant magics. Oh my, thank you so much for the raid, Kajurain! Thank you so much! How are you doing? How was your stream? What did you play? I am playing the testing chamber right now. I think I am approaching the end. It was fun. Was playing Genshin Impact. Awesome. I've never played that, but I've heard good things about it. Sweet. If you need any post-stream care, need a bathroom break, or need to go get some water, take care of yourself first. I totally understand that. Okay, so I just found this magic mirror. You can see many different images contorting themselves within the twisted nether. Would you like to look deeper into the mirror and see your reflection? Yes, I think that's what I'm supposed to do to get out of here. Mirror, mirror, show to thee, what secrets have been hidden from me. Show me weakness, show me strength. Describe in detail, tell in length. Show me what I've been afraid to see. Show me who I'm afraid to be. Show me everything, reflect it true. Show me why I've come to you. You gaze deeply into the mirror at your own reflection. What it reflects back at you are the answers you seek. Okay, so finally getting the whole answer spiel at the end, like the other test games. Deep within the mirror, a reflection is formed. It has revealed to you the reflection of the shackled. Oh boy. That doesn't sound good. The story of the shackled is an interesting one, to say the least. It's said that long ago, a great wizard of incredible fame and world renown fell madly in love with a woman who did not seem to share mutual feelings with his yearning. The wizard was said to be able to cast any spell with ease, amaze any audience with his arcane prowess, and fix any problem with a flick of his wrist or a snap of his fingers. That was until he met a beautiful baker woman whose shop he managed to find himself in during his travels far, far from home. The woman looked at him as an ordinary man, unlike everyone else who gazed upon his wondrous robes. She saw him for who he truly was inside, which is interesting because without the magnificence of his magic, he was actually quite a dull and boring soul, to be honest. She cared not for his magic or spells, not for his sorcery or arcane power, but that power was all that the wizard had ever known. Through dedicating his life to learning magic as a way to solve all of his problems, the wizard had no time or energy to build character along the way, and it was his lack of character that spelled doom for any potential romantic dealings with the baker woman. Sounds fair. He considered casting a love spell in an attempt to enthrall her desire, but he knew that if that spell were to ever wear off, she would look at him with such disdain and resentment for forcing her to love him for what he wasn't, instead of for who he could have been. So the wizard shackled himself with powerful bonds that prevented him from using magic, so that when he encountered a problem, he had to think of alternative ways to fix it, or simply accept it for what it was. Interesting. This was all in an effort to build character, to entice the love and fixation of the woman he loved so dearly. Or you could just, do some self-reflection, build up a personality that's more than just your magic. As time went on, he found himself broke, coinless, and thrown aside, forgotten by society. For without his magic, he was worth nothing to the crowds and audiences that paid to see him work his sorcery. Yeah, makes sense. Without his magic, he was of no use to anyone, and while this pained him greatly, he never took the shackles off, constantly pursuing this journey to build himself into a character that would draw the adoration of the baker woman. One day, when the man was traveling down the crossroads just outside town, a group of ruffians ambushed him and stole everything they could get their hands on. He was now left naked and beaten, laying in the crossroads, taking his final breaths, when a figure emerged from the shadows. It was the baker woman. She quickly rushed to his side and questioned why he was chained and bound, and why he didn't use his magic to fight off his assailants, to which he replied, "To build character." To build character! Yeah, I was just beaten and stolen from, but it's to build character, guys. It's okay. When the baker woman heard of the struggle and hardship the wizard had gone through just to earn her love and adoration, she unshackled him and pressed her lips to his. Really? For the effort he put into building himself into a character that the woman could love was far more powerful than any love spell could ever accomplish. Yeah, but has he gained a personality from this? She felt so awful and embarrassed for not realizing the truth sooner that she sobbed into his chest as they held each other closely in the dirt, for the wizard didn't need to build character at all. Oh. For he had character all along, yet the baker woman just couldn't see past all of the glitz and glamour, much like the rest of the world who looked upon the wizard. Oh, interesting. She encouraged him to continue with his magic and earn the favor of the crowds and audiences once again, and they set off to get married and lived happily ever after. Okay, so she just assumed the rest of him since he was so great. Assumed the worst in him since he was so glitz and glamour. Got it. Now, the reflection of the shackled represents someone who knows that they have something special inside of them, and they keep it stuffed down for one reason or another. Hi. If you've received the reflection of the shackled, then it means you're most likely suppressing something incredibly important about yourself. Either you're attempting to become someone you're not, so that others may like you. I was doing that, but now I'm being more true to myself. I'm getting past that. I'm learning, okay? Or you've convinced yourself that you're not good enough as you are, and that you need to do something different or be something different in life. Fine. It can also mean that you're not letting your confidence shine through for the fear of sounding arrogant or intimidating others by your greatness. I mean, I am that grace, right? You know. Oftentimes, even though we may have some insecurities within ourselves, we can still feel confident in some areas, but we don't let it show as often as we should. That's fair. That's kind of how my confidence is. The honest truth is, the right people will love you exactly as you are. If they can't see past your exterior, show them your interior and let them know that you are multidimensional. Yeah. You don't have to be someone you aren't just to satisfy others, but you could also reveal a bit more of yourself to others without fearing the consequences of it, because you've got a beautiful soul that deserves to be set free. Remove the shackles that you've placed on yourself, and take comfort in knowing any fears, worries, or concerns you have are nothing but bonds holding you back from accomplishing what you want. You have nothing to be afraid of, for you are a grand prize to be admired to those who are deserving of your true self. Wow. Let go of whatever is holding you back, and shine your unique and special light, brighter than you ever have before, unapologetically and unwaveringly. I'm trying. This is something I'm actively working on. Because I've always felt, shackled by the weight of expectations, and living up to those expectations, and so I've never been true to myself until recently, and now I'm trying to be more true to myself, so I definitely feel this. Not only do you deserve this destiny, but others will be better off for knowing the true you too. Your secret word is shackled. Remember this word, for it will benefit you greatly if you decide to use it. Hi, Watcher! Sometimes the mirror reflects something within your soul, and sometimes the mirror reflects the reverse of what resides inside of you. Both factors are of equal value. I mean, it's something I'm actively working on, so yeah. It's up to you to interpret whether your reflection shows your reality or the reverse of it, Wanderer. So pay heed and listen to my words, for the mirror never lies. Okay. I will free you from the confines of this place once and for all. Yes! You are free to do as you please from this point onward. I will wish you the best of luck in your journey forward, Wanderer, for it is now time for you to do some reflection of your very own. I'll meet it out! I discovered 7 out of 7 deadly sins. 2 out of 3 butterflies. I saw the other butterflies, I just didn't want to get them. 18 out of 18 torn journal pages. 21 out of 21 crystal petals. So I did really good with discovering everything. I chose not to kill the butterflies because I felt bad about it. 7 out of 7 artifacts. 7 out of 8 relics. What relic did I miss? Oh, I bet if I sacrificed my coins to the demon thing, I would have gotten something, but I was nervous about doing that because I thought it could be bad. And I didn't realize I was right at the end, so I thought I would need the coins for more wisdom ladies. Okay, there are 5 separate endings to discover and many hidden secrets littered throughout each room that can only be found by clever exploration. Awesome. Shackled was my word. We'd like to recommend our title called The Advisor to you. Okay. Cool. I just got a bunch of their games because I've been enjoying these. Woo! Thank you for an awesome game. Very special shout out to Markiplier and his community. Hey, I'm part of the community. This really meant so much to his longtime fans. That is so awesome. And the amount of joy you bring to the rest of the world through your content and your community support is second to none. Agreed! Thank you for being you. We really hope you get to punch the nun at some point in the near future. Yes. We want to wish you all the best in your future endeavors, and may your life be flooded with the happiness you deserve. 100%. If you go to the title screen of this game and click on our other games, you will find a link to Markiplier's new amazing project, In Space with Markiplier. It's awesome. If you haven't watched it yet, go watch it. It's completely free. You definitely won't be disappointed. That's what this says, and they're right, because it is awesome. Yeah. That was really cool. I'm glad I got through it. I'll probably be playing The Advisor next, because they said it's kind of related. And I'm just really curious about their stuff now, kind of. But if there's other stuff that you'd like to see me play, let me know. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Sunny Sunflower is playing Little Witch in the Woods, which I don't know anything about, but it sounds very intriguing. And sounds like something that this community would enjoy. So let's go raid her and hype her up. Thank you again for hanging out with me, and I will see you next week. Bye!